Welcome to the Rising Truth Podcast. This is Jose.
And this is Diana.
And we're your co-host for the podcast.
Da da da. Oh! What was that? Okay, let's begin. So, for today's podcast, we're going to talk about our experience growing up in Nicaragua. So, for those of you who don't know, maybe Jose can explain a little bit where Nicaragua is located.
Okay, so Nicaragua is located in Central America. And Central America is below the States, it's below Mexico. And Nicaragua specifically is on the equator, in between Honduras and Costa Rica. They have one of the largest body of fresh water. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Called Lake Nicaragua, and it has sharks.
All right, that's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
Hope that's true, Jose.
Yeah, it is true. They always say there's sharks. A shark that lives in fresh water. Usually sharks lives in salty water, but these sharks are special.
Nice. Well, what I knew, like every time people would ask, I would always tell them, oh, it's the country of lake and volcanoes.
Oh yeah, lake and volcanoes, and that's what you usually see in their coins, right?
Yeah, lake and volcanoes.
Yeah, that's what represents Nicaragua. And so we'll tell everybody where is Nicaragua. So what is it known for?
Oh, it's known for a lot of things. I think a lot of people have a misconception that Nicaragua is very dangerous. What do you think?
Well, living there for 11 years, I can tell you it's safe.
It's safe? Nothing has ever happened to you?
No, not to you too. Do you remember what happened in Honduras?
Yeah.
Not that we're discouraging people to not to go to Honduras or Guatemala, but like it's Nicaragua is the safest place you can be.
In Central America.
Yeah, in Central America. If you compare to its neighboring countries.
Yeah, I would say that Nicaragua is quite safe as long as you don't do, I don't know, the things that you shouldn't be doing, walking alone in the streets at nighttime.
Walking on sunshine. With all the shiny things on your body, like necklace, watch.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to show off on the streets.
Yeah, and be careful for pickpockets as well.
Yes, always. Like, even in Taiwan, like you wouldn't want to walk out in the street with a lot of shiny things.
Okay, yeah, that's true. And also, a lot of my Nicaraguan friends were always telling me, like, taxis aren't safe. But in our family, like, since our father, he worked in Honduras, and our mother, she doesn't know how to drive a car. So we would always call for a cab, and it was pretty safe.
Yeah, we call cabs in Nicaragua.
Like, we would just raise our hand and, hey, taxi!
Yeah, and then start bargaining.
Yeah, we would bargain.
How much from point A to point B, right? Talking about this, we will later talk about the funny stories we have when we're announcing a direction, like
announcing direction. You mean like giving out addresses?
Yeah, giving out addresses. It's quite interesting. But before that, let's continue with the facts. So we already tell you guys 2 interesting facts. How about 3 more? Because we're supposed to tell 5 interesting facts.
Why are we supposed to? It's just like randomly.
Randomly?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, did you know they have the oldest city in Nicaragua? Like the oldest city in Central America.
Yeah, what is it called?
León Viejo. Have you been there?
Yeah, me too.
I remember we've been there.
It was a field trip,
yeah,
I think.
field trip in school.
Yeah, they would give us like a brief history.
Yeah, and coincidentally, it was approved or listed on UNESCO Heritage Site in 2000, the year we went to Nicaragua.
That's the year we went to Nicaragua?
Yeah, in year 2000.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Well, now you know. And yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Other than that...
A sad fact that we do have to say is that it is one of the poorest countries in the world.
Yeah, it is. Second poorest.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing your thesis on Nicaragua. Maybe you can tell a little bit about
how to improve its economic state. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do in my thesis.
Yeah, like the interesting statistics that we learned is that roughly 75% of the country's 6 million people live on less than $2 per day. Mm-hmm. Imagine $2 US per day.
Yeah, that's like for what, year to 2016?
Yeah, that's
15?
2016.
2016, yeah. Because in 2017, I think it increased a little bit.
Yeah, but still, I would say less than $5 per day.
Less than $5, yes. And that's not good.
Yeah, so any advice?
Advice? Well,
Do you think the economic status will get any better?
yes, they will eventually. If the people take action, there's many natural resources.
Yeah, tourism is a big part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big part too, and the service sector is a big part also.
Oh yeah.
So they'll just have to be proactive, a little bit more knowledge about the area, the sector, how to get into it, and just, well, like every politician say, it starts with education.
You're a politician now?
Nah, well, I studied politics, so not something I really wanted, but it is what it is. So I learned.
Yeah.
The world is not as clean as I thought it was. I mean,
clean?
As saint-like as I thought it was. Anyways, now we can talk about the direction. So if you were looking for directions in Nicaragua, how would you give it?
Well, it was really interesting. They would usually say like, oh, go to the roundabout, or 3 blocks from there, you'll see a house with a blue gate. Actually, the blue gate, that was our house. Yeah, I think the direction that they gave for our house. Turn left and go to the 3rd entrance, and then you'll find the place. Yeah,
and then you'll find a place. Or they'll tell you like various landmarks that is there or used to be there. So sometimes they'll say, oh, the place that used to have this. But if you are new to the area, you're like, what? Used to be? For example, they say, there used to be a tree right in the corner. Turn left when you see that tree. And then you're like, what tree? And then they say, I walk here every day. There used to be a tree. But the most common one is we ask our dad, and they say, El Lago, the lake.
Yeah.
And they usually refer the Nicaraguan lake, the Lake Nicaragua. Mm-hmm. I think so. So when they say, hey, go north of the lake, go south, go east of the lake, usually you just have to know where the lake is and then turn to the direction they say. Any other things you want to talk about the direction?
No, nothing to the direction. Maybe we can say like
how it affected you, like when you came back to Taiwan. Do you remember the street's name, or do you just remember? Yeah, so that's how it has impacted me. For example, when I came back here, I do remember the signs or the landmarks. I usually remember the landmarks. I remember, there used to be a 7-Eleven in that corner. So when I ride my bicycle, I know I have to turn that corner to reach. Yeah, I
never look at the street names right? Or anything.
So that's a thing that has impacted us, right? So when our friends say, the street in, for example,
Roosevelt.
Yeah, Street Roosevelt, that's a really popular area. I'm like, Roosevelt? You mean the place where there's a 7-Eleven, and then across that street there's, for example, a cinema? Yeah, that one. So, now I'm remembering my college years. I usually tell my friends, oh, is it that area with this place and that place? So I only remember landmarks.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Or what things used to be there too. Like, for example, there used to be a stand.
You would always say that?
Yeah, I say, the place where there's a lady that sold, for example, dessert.
Yeah.
Dessert on ice cream, like. And then, it used to be there too. I'm like, okay, I know the place. I know the place you're talking about. So, I use that too. I say, donde fue, where there used to be that thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Do you miss the food over there?
Definitely.
What food do you miss?
Gallo pinto.
Gallo pinto?
Yes.
What's that food? Do you want to explain?
Red beans and rice.
I do miss gallo pinto. It's good, but that's not the one I miss the most.
What do you miss the most? Quesillo?
Yeah. Quesillo.
What's quesillo? Do you mind telling the...
Yeah, it's like tortilla. Tortilla, how do I explain tortilla? It's like a corn-based... What is that? Tortilla.
Skin.
Yeah.
Corn, like pressed corn.
Yeah. It's hard to describe without a picture, but I think everybody knows what's
like
tortilla.
a paper thing. Yeah, tortilla.
Yeah, everybody knows what's tortilla, but instead it was a corn-based one, not the flour-based, which tastes more authentic. And then you can put cheese on top of it. So you can either ask for like a single piece of cheese, or you can ask for like 3 pieces of cheese, and then they add some sour cream on it, and then they add some like onions, but like diced onions. Are you getting all watery? Just thinking about
salivating?
Yeah,
Is that how you say it, salivating?
I don't know. But I'm drooling just thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of drooling too. And especially, we just had dinner. Imagine that.
Yeah, but still. And it was pretty cheap to get that. You could just get it on a...
It was like 10 cordobas?
No, man.
20?
Wow, no. It's like 60.
60?
Like around $2 US dollars.
Oh, it was that much?
Yeah, I mean within 100 pesos, 100
cordobas.
100 cordobas, which is like $3, $4.
Oh, okay. But why do I remember it was cheaper?
Okay, maybe because you're older or old.
Maybe we remember buying it from somewhere else, because in different places they cost
true. I am talking about the one in Leon, which has the best quesillo.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about the one that where we had a field trip with our parents, and we drive to, like, there's a long street, and then at the side of the street there's a cabin or like a restaurant, and they sold quesillo inside. It's like a resting area. We just go there to rest for a while.
I remember.
You don't remember? And we bought a bag, and those bags were really, it looks cheap. And then inside it's quesillo.
And no cheese.
and of course there was cheese, a strand, a long strand of cheese inside. It was not that heavy. It was like a snack rather than a meal.
Oh yeah, it's usually a snack, quesillo.
Yeah.
But gallo pinto is also really good.
Gallo pinto is really good. The red beans, I mean, you don't get those
salty... the red beans are different.
Yeah, you don't get those salty red beans or the texture of the red beans in here in Taiwan.
True.
So besides food, what about culture? Anything you want to say about culture?
The culture over there is pretty interesting. We always had, like, I don't know, back in school, I feel like there were more festivals, right? That we always had something going on, some event.
It feels like every month we had a holiday or something.
We had a holiday, or like I don't know, like we could bring our own food to show them around, or like a get together.
For example, we studied in an American school. It is also considered international school because there's a lot of people from different countries.
Yeah.
So like they included a lot of holidays and... Well,
mainly the Nicaragua and the American holidays.
Yeah, but they also implemented maybe or recognized other holidays, like for example Chinese New Year.
Oh yeah, we would have Chinese New Year celebration.
Yes, and we would show...
Jose would perform.
Yeah, I would perform the yo-yo performance.
The Chinese yo-yo.
I think it was consecutively for 3 years, and after...
Really?
Or 2 years, and then after that, I passed the baton to Isabel. I gave her...
Our other sister.
Yeah, the opportunity to show the performance, yeah. our teacher also did some...
And she did excellent.
Yeah, our sister did an excellent job.
No, our sarcasm, please.
Yeah, it was quite memorable. Something you'll never forget.
Yeah, she dropped it like 4,000 times, and then she said, one more time. And this was all on stage, so...
No, it was 12 then. Oh, don't exaggerate.
Okay, I tend to exaggerate.
She dropped the yo-yo 12 times.
12 times? Yeah. You remember?
I was watching from behind.
Okay, it's not like 5.
I don't actually remember.
Okay, but the funniest part is that she was always like, okay, one more time.
But she never gave up.
She didn't give up. And yet she also didn't catch it. Okay.
I think she did for the last one.
No, I don't think so. Isabel's gonna kill us.
Okay. Alright, so...
Hope she didn't make it this far.
Yeah, hopefully she didn't hear it this far. And...
On a serious note, let's talk about... I don't know, we're considered as like third culture kids. Do you think maybe I can explain a little bit what third culture kids are. Mm-hmm. Basically, they're kids that are raised in the culture that other than their parents. So our parents, they're Taiwanese, but we weren't raised here. We were raised in Nicaragua, or you were also raised in Honduras and Guatemala. So do you think, I don't know, growing up as a third culture kid affected you? Were there any barriers? Did you experience any racism in the school?
In the school, racism, not to an extreme. Not to an extreme. Usually, it's more racism outside, like
outside
the school. But in the school, it was fine. Not very extreme. It was maybe sometimes they call you names.
Like Chino?
No, they make it sound like Chino, but they sounded like, for example, my last name was Jang.
So they called you
Chan.
Oh, that was because like Chino and then Jang.
And then Chan.
Oh.
And also because of a cartoon that was quite popular back then.
Which one?
Shin-chan.
Oh, I don't know how to call it in English.
In English is it's a cartoon where there's a little kid.
All cartoons have little kids.
And he wears a red shirt and a yellow short and always show off his butt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's called Crayon Shin-chan?
Yeah, Crayon Shin-chan. Red shirt. He has really, really thick brows. You know, when you girls say, my brows are on fleek.
Okay, yeah, his brows are not on fleek though.
It's
and it's a Japanese manga series.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know about it. But anyway, so I did not know that they called you Chan because of that.
Yeah, it was because of I remember it's because of this cartoon. But I was fine with it.
Yeah. I remember back in 6th grade, I mean, we're all really young, but for me, I didn't realize how it was a racist remark, but my classmates, and I mean, my classmates that I've because I studied pre-K also in that school, so I've seen these classmates every single day, and our class is pretty small. It was only like 60, 70 people, so 2 guys approached me, and then they were like, "Hey, Diana, what did you have for dinner last night?" I'm like,
right.
Just the normal. And they're like, "Oh, what's the normal? Did you have rat or dog?"
Okay.
And I didn't know like why they asked me that, because I felt like one of them. I felt like I grew up there, so I was born in Honduras, so I was just like, why are you asking that?
Now I remember sometimes it's stereotypes.
Yeah, and because they always think like Chinese people eat rats and
it's quite relevant now because there's rumors about the coronavirus outbreak. It originated from someone eating a bat.
Yeah, so
in China. Yeah, so quite an interesting story. Also, I just suddenly had a memory lane. Like I just suddenly remember. That for PE class.
Mm-hmm. What about it?
Guys or girls have to change in their changing rooms, right? And whenever we change, people, because we're like in high school stage, we're teenagers, so we have hormones.
Oh no, I can already imagine what you're going to say.
So the guys are like, besides talking about the sizes, they talk about your physical appearance. Sometimes they look at your fingernails. But for me, I cut my fingernails quite often. But I had a friend who was also Asian. Mm-hmm. He had long fingernails, and people made fun of him. They say, you're Chinese because you have long. So it's gonna be like a weapon. You will kill us with your sharp nails. Yeah. Yeah, we were quite dumb back then. We make anything up. Yeah, make anything up.
Yeah, but what do you say, like, that affected you, or that made, I don't know, emotionally or mentally in any way?
Yeah, another thing, I got into a fight in PE class. Yeah, it was in PE class. We had baseball. I just remembered this a moment ago. I was going to bring it up, but I'll bring it up right now. So I remember we were in baseball class. I hit the ball, right? And so I started running and to the third base, and I was running to the home base. And then out of nowhere, there's this classmate, I won't name names, but he couldn't catch me. I was running pretty fast, so he threw the glove toward my genital area. And then I fell down because it hurt quite a lot.
Why did you do that?
I actually don't know. Maybe it was by accident or it was on purpose. I don't care, but I got so mad. I think he called me Chino. I'm not sure, but I was so mad.
Chino means like Chinese.
Yeah, Chinese. Like you came from China. So I was so mad. I actually hit him on the head.
Oh, yeah. And what happened after that?
The teacher saw it. The teacher's like, "What's going on? What are you guys doing?" I'm like, he bullied me. He hit me in a private area and he called me Chinese. So that's why I hit him back. And then she took us to the side and told us, "No, no."
Miss Graciela.
I think so. The only female PE teacher.
Teacher.
Yeah, she was quite short and she was like regañando us.
She's not short.
Wait.
But it's probably not her.
It's the one that taught volleyball.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and she was quite funny. She's like, "You guys have to make up, shake hands." Okay, shake hands. Okay. And then we were okay. We were rocky for a while, but then we were okay. We just respected each other.
That's
quite a story.
Yeah, but not racism, I would say. More like bullying.
More like because high school.
Yeah, more like dumb fights.
People are still growing up, discovering their own identities.
Yeah, I mean, you bullied me a lot too, Jose.
People were insecure. I was insecure.
Clearly, you stabbed
We don't know
me.
what's going on. What?
Nothing.
Another topic for another podcast. Okay, so talking about identity, do you refer or
do I feel more acquainted as Nicaraguan or Taiwanese?
Yeah.
I think this is a struggle that, well, no, I wouldn't say struggle, but something that third culture kids deal with, that they are not really sure about their identity. So, for me, I usually say my parents are Taiwanese, but I grew up in Nicaragua or I grew up overseas. That's what I do nowadays.
I also say that. I say I'm Taiwanese, but I grew up in Nicaragua.
Yeah, because I have an accent when I speak in
Spanish,
Mandarin, Chinese. Excuse me.
Chinese, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel a little bit strange if I say like I'm Taiwanese.
No, I
with
wouldn't.
No explanation.
Oh, of course, I will have to explain. Yeah, I will do the same. I'll just explain that I grew up in Nicaragua, but I wouldn't say. If they want to know the specifics, I'll say, yeah, I grew up 3 years in Honduras, 3 years in Guatemala, and 11 years.
So you would never say I'm Nicaraguan?
No, I wouldn't say I'm Nicaraguan. Because that's not in my passport. In my passport, it says Taiwanese.
Oh. I mean, but you don't have to base it on your passport. What do you feel more like?
Identity?
Yeah,
you mean like national identity-wise or my own identity?
Just your own identity.
My own identity, I'll just say I'm Jose.
Okay, alright. Thanks, Jose.
I'm from the Jose land.
Yeah.
There's so many Jose's.
You know, for third culture kids, they're always like citizens of everywhere and nowhere. Is that what you feel like?
Yeah, kind of. If somebody else asked me, like, you know, like aliens, where are you from? I'm like, Earth. I'm from Earth. And they're like, oh, wow. What's this place you called Earth? Yeah.
All right.
Okay, any memorable field trips in Nicaragua? Favorite place? My favorite place, I would say I had two places I liked the most.
Really, where?
Yeah, Selva Negra.
Copycat.
And Momotombo.
No, I don't. I mean, I do like it. But...
The Momotombo place, I'm not sure if it's this volcano or the other one, Bombacho, but like there was this field trip we had. I'm not sure if you had.
We probably had it too.
We went to see the Pepsi place.
Pepsi? No.
And then near the Pepsi place, I don't know, maybe my memories are clouded, but I remember next we went to a place where there was a volcano and it smelled like rotten eggs. It was that bad. But I remember it was...
I mean, you went to Volcán Masaya.
It was Volcán Masaya.
I'm kidding, I don't know. They wouldn't take you there. That's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, and then I remember the ground. I like rubbing my shoes into the ground because it was like a mixture of sand and a mixture of little pebbles.
Yeah.
And it just felt quite nice. It was really warm. And then one of my bucket lists is to go
back again.
Yeah, go back and go sand surfing.
You know, I did that.
Yeah, I know you did that, and I want to do it too because I never had the chance. I remember I had the chance. I was like there, but because we're in field trip, we signed a consensus,
not consensus.
Like a consensus between our parents and the teachers, and that everybody agreed on not letting the kids do something stupid.
Is that a consensus? That's more like a
agreement, a contract.
Yeah, agreement. Parents' agreement. Sorry.
Parents' school agreement. Parents' teacher agreement.
Yeah.
We'd agree to take you there, but we won't be responsible
for if your child is missing.
No, not missing. What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding.
So mine is Selvanera and one of the volcanoes.
Can you explain like Selvanera? Or I can't explain it. Selvanera. Yeah. We used to do like a family trip. It was pretty fun. Like, it was yearly. I felt like we did it quite often.
5 times per year?
Yeah, quite often. And we would just, basically it's this forest, really beautiful, and we would sleep overnight, or 2 nights, I'm not sure.
Over the weekend?
Over the weekend, yeah. In a cabin. It was really nice. The weather was perfect, I would say.
We would go hiking. We
would go
walk
hiking.
Around.
And I'm not even kidding, but the air was so fresh.
Yeah.
Probably the freshest.
I never breathed in any fresh air since then.
Yeah, and there are all types of bugs there, so if you're afraid of bugs.
Mosquitoes?
I remember there were strange... I mean, I don't like bugs, so...
I don't remember getting bit by any mosquitoes.
No, there weren't any mosquitoes, but just like... The cabin was pretty nice, clean, but outside, of course, you're in the forest.
Okay, and what's your second favorite place?
Second...
Let me guess. One of the beaches.
Yes,
Montelimar.
Nope. Not that basic. I'm kidding.
Okay, Montelimar is for basic people.
Yeah, it's where like all the tourists go.
The only thing I remember is the buffet and
that was really good.
Yeah.
But Montelimar was also really nice.
It's nice,
like a resort, right?
Yeah, it's a resort. It's not a place that everyone would like to spend their money on, but it was
really nice.
It was nice.
We also did family trips there often.
Yeah. And we built a lot of sand castles.
Yeah.
And we ordered a lot of piña colada.
Oh, that was really nice.
Before leaving.
Virgin piña colada.
Always before we left the area.
Yeah. It's really nice. But I prefer Playa del Coco because we only went there once.
No. Huh? I remember going there 3 times. Or twice.
Oh, I only remember it once.
And I remember...
Or at least the most memorable one where we watched the turtle lay eggs.
Lay eggs. I watched twice, I think. But the most memorable one was when we got up close and it was crying.
Yeah.
That's the turtle mama.
Yeah, I remember I had a diary and I drew the turtle mama that we saw crying, laying eggs. I don't know. I was only like, 9 years old back then?
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty interesting experience.
Yeah, laying the eggs, the ping pong balls.
And then covering it up.
And then smacking the hole with their stomach.
Oh, I remember that.
They push their arm.
I remember their
arm.
What do you call it? Arms?
Fins? I'm not sure.
What is it called?
We're not scientists, so we don't know. So they're like pushing sand and covering up the hole with the sand, right? And then they would just smack it, like boom. They smack the hole and make sure it's covered up.
Yeah.
And then they would leave. And I think there's 3 times. So I remember going there 3 times, but because we forgot the first time, we don't know the season. We went there, it was empty.
Oh, okay.
That's why I don't remember.
Yeah.
And the second time we went, but they were leaving already, or something like that. Yeah. But we saw it really quick.
And I remember like a tour guide or somebody came up to me, hurry, come.
Yeah. And then the last time we saw everything. But I remember the second time we were going to see the little eggs hatching and going into the sea. I remember baby eggs hatching going into the sea. You remember that?
I remember that.
It was a quick
thought it
one.
Was like all in the same trip.
No, it was separate. Different.
Interesting.
If it was the same, they lay eggs and then just hatch. So you see, our memories do something tricky sometimes. Okay, 2 more minutes and then I have to go teach. So last question.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, how did growing up in Nicaragua shape you as a person?
Well, I think growing up in foreign countries makes you learn different things. Like at home, I would learn this culture. For example, the Taiwanese culture. And at school or outside, I would learn the Nicaraguan culture. So I had two cultures growing up,
Yeah.
or maybe three. I'm not sure. Maybe the American culture too at the school.
Yeah.
So like growing up with three cultures, I learned quite a lot, to be open sometimes, more open-minded. Yes, more open-minded than usual. That's why I'm sometimes I tend to be more optimistic. But nowadays it's because I have some stress with master's thesis, so I can't vouch for the open-mindedness. What about you?
How growing up in Nicaragua shaped me as a person?
Yeah.
I would say like I'm more open to experience because I know there's more things out there, and I really appreciate diversity.
Diversity, yes.
Yeah, diversity and.
Oh, I could also like empathize or understand their perspective.
I feel like I understand a lot of people better, and I try not to only think from my point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the last question, would you recommend other people to live there or grow up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Nicaragua is a really, how would you say, safe place. You don't have to worry about many things living there. Like
true.
When we were in Honduras, like
yeah.
Like in Nicaragua is in the middle. You can still go out, explore with friends, always with
people
friends.
People are really kind and humble.
You ask for directions, they help you.
Yeah.
They try to help as much as they can.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel like my friends are my friends for a lifetime.
Yeah, true. Me too. All right, on that note, that's it for our podcast today.
Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, and tune in for the next podcast next week.
All right. Goodbye.
All right.